Halloween, Friday the 13th, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Chucky. All great horror movies, but nowadays they are all what, Joseph?
Booty!
And we're here to talk about it. This is the Triple Take. I'm Manny.
Frank.
I'm Joseph.
And we are here to inform all of you about the horror movie genre decline. Because, coming from your resident horror movie fan, nowadays horror movies are trash. And if you disagree with me, I dare you to prove me wrong.
They've always been trash.
Because
No.
back in the day when you had your Halloweens, your Saw, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and Chucky was kind of funny to me, so it wasn't really horror. But either way, those four. How is this possible? And usually, everybody says you can't beat the classics. But how is it possible that we have updated movies and updated CGI and all this technology and all these new bright ideas, but yet somehow you can't even surpass 1983?
There's this thing called originality.
Maybe that's where it ends. I'll be honest with you, as you've probably guessed it, I'm a slasher movie horror type of guy. I'm not into all that demonic weird stuff. You go have your fun over there. I'm not there. You could play in that playground. I won't ever touch that vicinity. Not my thing. I don't like it. It's corny, it's boring, and it's garbage. Sorry. Horror movies have taken such a left turn to the point where I'm gonna say it. It is the least likable genre in all of movies. And
Not even close.
From the early 90s, it was probably like top 5, maybe top 3 in the early 90s. And now it is so bad. It's up there with comedies, in my opinion, because comedy movies nowadays are garbage too. Like, I'm making valid points here. I'm cooking. At this point, call me Gordon Ramsay because I'm chefing it up. Joseph pointed out a very, very good word to describe the decline of this genre.
Booty?
Originality.
Yeah.
It has lost all of its luster.
There's good
And the
booty
worst
and
part
there's
is-
bad booty.
You know what the worst part is? Is you're trying to use the gold of back in the day and turn it into diamonds,
Joseph.
and you're just doing the opposite. You're turning it into this thing that comes out of my ass. Like, crap!
Me and Joseph
It's
are laughing.
very
We've been
upsetting.
crashing out.
It's very upsetting.
Wait, do
too,
the
because
classics hold up, though?
The classics still hold up. Dude, the first Halloween
I guess
movie,
you're right.
I look at it and I'm just like, this is a great story. I feel like they've completely lost the story aspect of it.
As I've said it before, to help Manny's point, the same way I like my spicy food. You need flavor. If you're going to give me a horror movie, I don't care if it's demonic, I don't care if it's slasher, I don't care what
care.
shade of horror it
I care.
is. That's fine, you guys can care, whatever. But if you're going to give me a horror movie, there should be some substance to it. There should at least be a decent story that could be followed through, and where the actual element of fear, at least to me, has some justifiable sense to it. If it doesn't make sense, I'll be like, well, that's whack. As Manny says, that's booty.
Ow. Well, right.
It's what it is. If it's whack, it's whack.
No, your voice changes are getting me today, man.
Yeah, you should have seen me yesterday. Anyway, so, yeah, if a horror movie doesn't have a good story, or if anything doesn't have a good story, then I'm just like, why am I watching it? If there's no sense of something that makes sense, I'm not going to be scared. Because the only thing that really scares me is what I expect, and it's the stupid placement of jump scares opposed to actual, like, suspenseful fear. You know what I mean? Oh, you're going to scream at me and flash at me and give me a whole seizure, right? You're going to give me a whole epileptic seizure and call that scaring a person. Yes, I'm scared if I'm going to die from a seizure. But in terms of the actual movie itself or the story behind it, what is it? Give me my movie ticket refund.
So
No,
basically,
I'm not
you're
going to a
saying,
movie
like,
theater to watch
a crappy
hold on.
movie.
So you're saying that what they do...
Before that he's even said, hold on, Frank, because
Gotcha.
this is a point you're probably going to make. Now, I
Right.
want to probably add on to it before you even start. Horror movies are now focused on trying to scare the individual. The world is desensitized nowadays, and scaring a person is a lot harder nowadays than it was back in the day. Well, I'm talking about like with certain specific genres. I'm talking about like your slashers.
Oh, yeah. Okay, then, yeah, we agree.
What is it called? Your bodily horror, whatever, that
Yeah,
type
yeah.
of genre, all that
Yeah.
stuff. Humans are so desensitized. The desensitization of the human race in general towards anything specifically pertaining to violence, murder, all that. The world itself has completely shifted to where horror is not even horror anymore. and nothing is really gonna instill fear.
I was gonna say, like, as a point he's trying to make, like, at this point, it feels like they're trying to overstimulate you opposed to actually scare you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Why did I come here?
Because I'm trying to tie this to the term originality, right? In terms of stimulating a person. Because back then, and Manny could talk about it because he's seen horror movies of the old, or back then, when horror movies were coming out, whether it was Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Nightmare on Elm Street being a very prominent example of this, where in the realm of filmmaking, a very big pioneer of special effects, of the new, was horror movies, and how they would start using, well, their heavily and artfully use of practical effects. You know, because there are certain things, whether, you know, in terms of like graphical detail of like how the human body could be twisted up, or just extra fear factor effects, such as the weird dream stuff that you probably get in Nightmare on Elm Street. Horror movies was such a pioneer of a new sense of stimulation, of new effects being a thing. And nowadays, it's very, very CGI-y, and it sucks. It's sad. And because at least the grand majority of horror movies as a genre starting, it was 100% set on practical effects. Sure, every now and then they might have a few digital things, digital touches, that's fine. But the crux of that has always been practical. And most of the movies going into early to mid 2010s, even to the 2020s, most of the ones that just suck just happen to be fully MCU-ified of CGI, whatever the horror element is.
MCU-ified is crazy, but it's true.
It's true. A horror movie that came out in the past year or so, Alien Romulus, the grand majority of the horror element made use of a practical animatronic. Sure, the setting and stuff was very CGI, but they had the perfect balance and blend of CGI and practical to give you what you got, and it was a great movie. And at the same time, that movie also had a story, wasn't too convoluted, wasn't too simple, but it gave you enough to push you forward. Every action that took place in the movie, whatever the argument could have been, either which way the argument was made, and the actions that these characters made, for the grand majority of them, were justifiable. They made sense, and the horror supplemented that. And it justified why it was scary. The math is there, the formula is there. It's not too hard. It shouldn't be too hard to make a decent enough story to where if you're going to have horror elements in it, and have it be scary, why do you have, oh, this part's going to scare you, but then the story doesn't match the horror? It doesn't make sense, and there's that disparity that makes it just fully fall apart. And it just becomes, oh, this is a horror movie that came out, whoop-de-doo. But then you get the small nuanced ones every year that do stand out, and they will get their cult following, or for whatever reason. Well, actually, I do understand why Terrifier has the following that it does.
Because people are weird.
People are weird.
People are weird.
And
people are weird.
Because a good majority of what I see on social media in terms of like new horror movies that people tend to fixate on, for some reason, is always like the deaths aspect of it. Granted, you know, it's probably a highlight of like, you know, the kills and stuff in the movies, which is cool. Like, you know, if they do it in a interesting, creative way. But some people take that like intake of the brutality to such an extreme where they start explaining in depth, oh, this is why this was cool and that and that. And I'm just like, is it really that deep? Like, sure, it was cool. Sure, it was creative. But I didn't expect a whole dissertation explaining why you were so fascinated about this, when usually I see you reposting stuff about Taylor Swift. Like, give me a whole argument about Taylor Swift. I expect that from you. But you spit out all this stuff about some Terrifier kill? Like, you could literally do better with your life. Like, this is how I felt. But, you know, everyone likes what they like. I could do the same thing about video game lore. I'm not gonna lie, I can. I would hope, as a person that really likes movies and very specific about the movies I do like, there has to be a better taste in this industry. Horror movies deserve better. Movies deserve better in general. And that's all I gotta say.
I feel like when it comes to horror movies, I think the best thing about it, I don't really watch horror movies that much. I'm sure like you guys can understand that. But it's just like, from what I've seen, like I think the biggest thing about it was the originality and like it's the fact that it was a pioneer in movie making, right? That's what made it so good. Like it was so creative and like that was its luster. Nothing else. It's just the fact that how creative people would get was really the main reason why people loved them so much. I think the fact that people got too enamored with the gore part and then got enamored with the new ways of making effects and trying to incorporate it, which I understand, you know, play around with it. But if you mess with the originality of it, that's where it gets its luster. Like the fact that, like, I think the practical effects is the key thing here. The fact that these characters were never made before and they made them for that movie, right? Like how many times has there been a new horror movie character? Like recently.
Art the Clown would be the best example.
And when was
Wow.
that?
Opposed to help
It
Frank's
started
point.
off as a YouTube short, and then
Mhm.
in some strange way he gained popularity to the point where he got a movie, and he's probably like today's generation's biggest horror icon, which he's not really a horror icon, not even close to what we know as horror icons. Like your Michael Myers, your Jason
'Cause-
Voorhees.
Because what I'm trying to say is that, like,
well, real
Yeah,
quick,
yeah.
to help Frank's point, in terms of like original horror characters, you're not seeing that to compare to like Michael Myers and them. Like I'm gonna call them A-list horror movies or
Sure.
horror people or whatever. But you're gonna only find new original stuff in like the D-list guttural depths of like YouTube or something. The most nuanced thing is where you're gonna find originality, to be honest.
Yeah, and I'm just like, but it's just, but like the thing about it is that it has to be original, but with, like you were saying, with story, right? And that's what made that the originality with story is what made him good. But like it was really the practical effects that made people go whoa, like at the time, you know what I'm saying? Like, at this point, like I feel like the most you can make something scary for people nowadays is make it real. And I'm not talking about real gory. I'm talking about like make it hit for the situations now. Like that's what makes things scary when like they'll be like, whoa, this could happen to me, or like they can relate to themselves when it comes to like this could happen, right? Nowadays, back in the day, it's more like the imagination of it, right? The originality, imagination of it. But nowadays, it's like how close to home can this hit? And
This
that's
goes
what
back-
actually.
You're going off of the point of what I made about like desensitization just in
Yeah,
media
yeah.
in general.
They're desensitized to the imagination of it, but when it hits close to home, that's when it actually scares them nowadays, right? Because people are allergic to real nowadays. So it's just like
Bro, say no. Hold up. Say that again.
People are-
Say that again, so that way you, the audience, can hear that.
people are allergic to real nowadays. So when they get a taste of that, especially in a setting that overstimulates them, it's scary. Because back in the day, people were used to real. They were in world wars, like not too long ago. You know what I mean? It's true. They were in like crazy events that were new to them. So it's just like, oh, I'll live real every day. That's why like the imagination part of it was the part that really attracted them. But now it's the opposite because they live in imagination land every day. Imagination land every day. Like what's actually scary is real. Well, right now the imagination part of it is more like to escape to happy places, not to scary places. It's not the same thing anymore. But what I'm trying to say is that like they've been picked. Like we talk about remaking movies, brother. I think horror movie was the first genre to do this as much as it did. Like I think they are the pioneers of remakes, bro. Cause holy cow, talk about milking the cow. How many?
How many times
many
is Michael
times?
Myers gonna come back?
How many times, bro? I'm surprised they ever brought Freddy Krueger back. They basically replaced him with it.
Well, there's a little bit of a bigger problem with why they can't bring Freddy Krueger back.
Okay, they basically replaced him with it.
My man.
Cannot wait for the series on HBO Max.
By the way,
It is.
you guys are talking about new horror icons. That probably is the best newer one that's come out.
and he's a remake.
And he's a remake.
Yeah.
He's the only one that was actually successful after the remake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
didn't
just
know
like,
there was recently I found out there was a Pinhead remake and I was like looking at it, I was like, this is kind of garbage.
They still make movies about that man.
about
Like,
that
let me
guy.
look up when it came out. Hold up, because it was very recent.
They don't make them like they used to, brother. Telling you, man. Jeepers Creepers, another one, bro. They don't make them like they used to.
What about Beetlejuice? How you feel about that one?
It came out in 2022.
It's a
That's
family
crazy.
That is a family movie, like the Addams Family. It's the
Oh, okay.
same thing.
I've never
So,
watched Beetlejuice, so
It's like the Addams Family. Same thing.
not really horror. Okay, got it.
Not really horror.
More
More
like
of a,
Halloween family movie. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. That makes sense. It is comedy.
I would say like a middle school age with your parents can watch Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah, because there's some suggestive jokes. Got it.
Yes.
Got it. But nah, yeah. That's my take on it. I feel like horror movies been trashed for like a really long time. Like the only people that really even watch horror movies are people that are hoping for
Bro.
for it to come back. And like,
In
bro,
the
I didn't even talk
simplest
about
terms.
Scream.
In the simplest terms, Frank, exactly what you're saying. They're clinging to the glory days.
In facts, it's like that one dude that got out of high school, peaked in high school, still wears his varsity jacket at 45 years old at the bar drinking beers, talking about how he made that one catch in the 1922 playoffs. Like I'm like,
You're spitting. You're spitting. You're spitting.
and we didn't even talk about Scream, bro.
I
Some
like Scream.
franchises,
I know you like Scream, and Scream is
some
probably like not
franchises
the,
have
as bad of
taken
a
too long. Some of them should have died.
bro. Like we talk about Fast and the Furious, Scream horror version. It's the truth. How much
Wait a-
longer can it go?
Pause.
For
I'm gonna make
what?
an argument. I'm gonna make an argument that trumps that statement.
Go
Because
ahead.
in Scream,
Tell
they
me about it.
actually die. In Fast and the Furious, they don't die. Dewey died.
Okay, but let's talk about the last Scream movie. How many stabs did that guy take? And oh, he's okay. He's all right. They took him in the ambulance. Oh no.
You can't mess with the
Die.
core 4. You can't mess with the core 4.
Yeah, he got stabbed in the 4 chambers of his heart, and he's still alive.
See
Okay.
the difference between Scream
Well-
and Fast and the Furious, like Fast and the Furious is more suggestive. I know there's no way they should have lived. Trust me, I know this. I'm not making a
Thank you.
case, but at
Wonder
least it's
Woman
more.
Wonder Woman's still alive. Just
But at
remember
least
that.
it's more suggestive where you don't see it. They're just like this man. Bro, people have died from less. People
I
have died
can't.
from ice cubes.
I can't wait. Oh, Scream 9. Scream
People
9,
died from-
right? Scream 9. Lock in.
Locked
the
in.
title phrase. They can't hear you scream in space. Because
So
my
you-
man
well, you're lying.
Ghostface is
No,
going to
that's
be
not
an
real.
astronaut.
That's not real, Frank. That's not real.
Oh, I'm about to say this like this man really
you know
are
what
going
this
to
man-
Fast and the
no, hold
Furious
on. You know what
route.
this man just did? This man just said, you know what? Jason goes to space. That's what he just said. That's what he just said.
At least that
Bro,
one made
man.
more sense to me.
No,
Why
it
is Scream
didn't.
still a thing?
This
Liquid
man was
nitrogen?
cryogenically frozen.
If there's something that does not make sense to me is horror movies, bro.
It
Do not
doesn't.
understand why people still entertain this idea. Just stop. Let it die.
Stop.
It was good in
so
its
scary.
time. Thriller is better.
Yeah, just switch.
We know this.
Switch to the thriller genre. It's so
That's
much
why
better.
it is good. That's why it is good because it's thriller. It's not really horror. It's thriller.
Yeah,
But
bro.
a horror-esque thriller. That's the new.
It be the its. It be the its, bro.
And trust me, bro, it is creepy. It's not even scary. It's just creepy. Like, nah, bro, get away from me. My name's Frank. My name's Frank, bro. I don't even have a raincoat. I don't even like boats.
Well, first off,
I like
I'm
cars.
gonna point this out. If Pennywise is a fear, you're a child. Like
No,
you're a
he
child.
doesn't fear me.
No.
He just
I would be scared of Pennywise. You mean I'm not
What
going to
do
be
you-
scared
you
of some...
can-
Manny, shut up. Because you think I'm not going to be scared of some cosmic, ethereal thing? That is scary. What are you talking about? The clown? I don't care.
What? Guess what? All you gotta do is punch him in the face, and he loses all of his powers.
no,
Okay.
he's just like
That's
Freddy
if-
Krueger. He's literally Freddy Krueger.
No, Freddy Krueger's worse. He's
No.
worse.
I'm saying like all you gotta do is just not be scared of him. That's
Freddy
it.
Krueger's illegal.
Yeah, no, Freddy Krueger's illegal on how OP he is. But we're not talking about OP-ness. We're talking about the fact that horror movies suck.
Oh, penis? That's what you said?
We're not talking about penis.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
This episode
Crazy
has gone
word.
off the rails.
But either way, my point
No, that was
is
scary.
the fact that they're holding,
What,
like Manny
penis?
said, they're.
Some of them are scary.
Oh my goodness.
Well, the ones are
This is
friendly.
great.
Some
Oh,
of them are better than horror movies.
when it comes when it comes to it, he's really just creepy, right? But that's what Thriller does, right? Thriller makes things creepy,
Hiya,
opposed to
Georgie.
like scary, and like it gets so creepy it borderlines. It makes you uncomfortable. That's really what it is, right? And honestly, like when you're scared, that's really what you feel, uncomfortable. Similar feeling, different reason. But like Manny said, y'all are holding on to the glory days. Let it go. It's done.
Let it go.
Please, just move on. You guys are giving franchises money that don't deserve it. They're barely even trying.
Or give
it's
me
like
a
when
job and I'll
somebody-
make a better one.
It's like all these people that buy 2K every year and will be the show. Sometimes. Stop. They're going to keep making it if you keep giving them money.
Enough is enough. That's what we're trying to say. Like, if you're not going to put out good content, just don't do it.
All things come to an end. When will this? Even Fast and the Furious is stopping. Maybe. At least they
Well-
said it, though.
I wait for Furious Fast.
I wait for Scream 9 in space.
They're going to make it. They're going to make the They're gonna make the spinoff slow and happy.
Somehow
goodness.
Michael Myers survived going through a meat grinder.
That's basically Plastic Man. Talk about OP.
This man's he's SpongeBob when he gets
We're
knocked
we're
into
done.
little parts. And
We're
they just
done.
pick themselves back
Outro.
up.
We're done.
I've never seen a real
We-
cartoon force. So it's all a horror movie.
Enough.
The real question: Michael Myers versus Goku. Who really wins?
Michael Myers every day.
You not seeing
This has been a fun episode, but we have to ask y'all the question: are horror movies just garbage nowadays? Is the decline real?
No. You think you
Booty.
could make a better horror movie and it not be booty? Comment down below.
No Art the Clowns.
This has been the Triple Take. I'm Manny.
I'm Frank.
I'm Joseph.
I want you to make sure that to do all that stuff, you got to comment down below on YouTube. You got to subscribe on YouTube. You got to follow us everywhere. Spotify, Discord, Instagram, all that good stuff. Join the Discord and explain to me why horror movies are still good nowadays. I'll be there. I'll be waiting. Frank, what do we tell the people?
Let it go. Peace.